What? What?
What?
Really? Wait, what?
What?
Oh my god. Oh my god, 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 what the? Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. What?
Oh my freaking god. Oh
my god!
They did it. I didn't think they would, but they actually did it. They banned Worm. Alright, well, I don't know what else to say, but there is clearly some very big news here. For as a parting gift to us all, Mr. Stone has bequeathed us with the much-rumored Corset 2.0, and there are some changes in here. So let's get started.
All right, so I'm not going to go over everything, but there are a couple of big points that need to be hit. First of all, this was absolutely Damon Stone's baby, and his fingerprints are all over it. But there are two very clear rules that you can see they used when they decided which cards got to stay and which didn't. Rule number one is get rid of everything that we now know is abusable, so things like Parasite and Breaking News. Rule number two is get rid of everything that's so generically good that it chokes out all other card choices, so things like Kate and Engineering the Future. And really, just from those two rules, we see huge sweeping changes throughout the card pool, so let's hit some bullet points on each faction here. So on the runner side, neutrals, we get to keep Underworld Contact, which is nice. I'm sure Sunny players are happy about that. Shapers are losing Kate for the aforementioned reason that she was just too generically good. We also get to keep Dinosaurus, and we also get to keep Indexing, which is so good. I am so happy we get to keep Indexing. I friggin' love that card. But other than that, there's not any major changes to Shapers. Criminals have two very big things that we don't have anymore, and that's Account Siphon and Desperado. Now, Desperado, again, too generically good. You know, you build a criminal deck, and outside of some weird niche decks, you're putting Desperado as your console. And Account Siphon, I will absolutely miss, but no matter how much you loved using Siphon, I think we all know why it was taken out. It was too negative and too toxic when it was abused. So my big issue with that, while I do understand why they did it, I'm going to miss Desperado, I'm going to miss Account Siphon, but my biggest issue is that Account Siphon was such a huge part of Criminal's identity as a whole, like more than any one card was to any other runner faction. Because you could run Anarch without Parasite, you could run Shaper without Clone Chip, or Gordian Blade, but running Criminal without Siphon was like sacrilege. And yeah, it's part of the reason why the card was too good, because it was literally a 3-of in every single Criminal deck. But, being able to literally steal credits from the Corp was not only very powerful, but completely accurate, like lore and flavor-wise, to what Criminals do. So I guess Criminals' new focus is to be on like bypass tricks and D-res, which still denies the Corp money if you keep making them have to pay for the same piece of ice over and over again, so you still have ways to deny the Corp money. But I also have a very strong feeling, for those of us who really, really loved siphoning, I have a very strong inclination that the next cycle, the Katara cycle that was just announced, will have some like fixed version of Account Siphon in it, so don't worry about that. Also, we get to keep HQ Interface and Fall Guy, so Geist is real happy about that. And now with missing Desperado, what do Criminals use for their default console? Because Doppelganger is fun and all, but it's not going to cut it. I'm thinking either Gauntlet or Logos being the new default Criminal console, and those are both solid choices. So yeah, there's some things to adjust to in Criminal, but I think we'll be able to do it. And then comes Anarchs. And whoo boy, Anarchs got turned upside down and inside out. So they got changed probably more than any other faction, I'd say. But yeah, there's a lot of things that got rearranged with Anarch. First of all, there's a lot of cards that shouldn't exist anymore that got removed. So namely, Parasite and Yogg are both out the window. With Parasite, there's just too many ways to abuse it, and it restricts, the new virus-related cards they print out, or strength-changing cards they print out, because, like even Sifr, even something as ridiculous and overpowered as Sifr, take Parasite out of the picture, and it's not nearly as bad. Same thing, Yogg. Yogg has been a habitual problem. Now Yogg is gone. We also lost Medium, and that's even weirder. Because, yeah, that card was super strong, but I don't think anyone really thought it was like a major problem. Plus, it's also like the primary form of multi-access for Anarch, so now Anarch really doesn't have any. So, I would have absolutely loved it if Medium was just replaced by Keyhole, because Keyhole is not only harder to use than Medium, it's also like much more thematically accurate to Anarchs, like trashing things and whatnot, rather than actually accessing them. Yeah, I would have absolutely loved it if Keyhole just replaced Medium, but that didn't happen. So again, we'll see what happens. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Anarchs as far as multi-access tools go in the future. Losing Medium is going to be super weird. Noise, though, is also gone, and that's weird. Noise is now it's Reyna, and don't get me wrong, I love Reyna. Reyna is my #1 favorite Anarch ID by far, and the fact that she is now core set is beautiful. But I do think that Anarchs being the virus faction and having a virus ID was really important to the faction, and not having one is super weird. Although, again, I am predicting in the next faction we will get some new Anarch ID that is based on viruses somehow. They also lost some things like Deja Vu. Deja Vu, I think, was mostly an attempt to kill recursion abusion. However, they did get Retrieval Run in its place. So basically, Deja Vu and Retrieval Run swapped places, which is interesting, because they also lost Corroder, which is super weird, but now we have Paperclip, and they got replaced with Morningstar. So I'm thinking that Retrieval running Femme Fatales and Morningstars is going to come back in a big way. Now, we do get to keep Liberated Account, which is awesome for Anarchs. That's super important for Anarchs. We get to keep Scrubber and Xanadu, so that's great. I absolutely wanted to keep Scrubber around. Data Sucker is still there, don't worry about that. Imp is still there. So I think basically we had Parasite and Imp swap places, and that's really interesting. So Imp is a very powerful card. So people stopped playing it, but Imp is a strong card. So don't knock it. I think we'll definitely figure out ways to make that worth playing. I also lost Grimoire, but that's not a huge deal. Singularity's around. That's just funny. I just find that amusing that Singularity's still here. Yeah, there's a lot of things that got rearranged for Anarch, but for the most part, they lost toxic things that were really restricting what new Anarch cards could be built, and were replaced with watered down, more healthy versions of those things. So it's going to be weird. Honestly, off the top of my head, the Anarchs are probably the weakest of the 3-runner factions, immediately after rotation. Probably, just a random guess looking at this, but it'll be super interesting what the next cycle does for Anarchs, because they did say there's going to be a lot of virus nonsense in it. We will see what's going on, but Reyna Roja, I welcome you back. Don't ever leave me again. Alright, so let's take a look at the Corp side, and also let's stop saying the word weird so much. I think I said that about 50 times in the runner half. But for Corp neutrals, we get to keep False Lead. So that's neat, I guess. But as far as the colored corps, there's some major changes going, and let's start with NBN. Oh my god. I'm so happy. So many toxic, nasty, disgusting, degenerate things are gone. San City Grid is gone. AstroScript is dead. Breaking News is out the window and just launched into space. Hopefully it never, ever, ever comes back. I'm so happy. Like, just everything I hate about NBN is gone. I might actually be able to respect NBN now, but probably not. Still, this is fantastic changes. Pop-up window and wraparound are now permanent, so NBN players will definitely love that. Other than that, not a ton of changes. They basically threw you a pop-up window and killed all the toxic shit that everyone hated about NBN. Just as a sweeping note, though, the project agendas have all become like the default 3-2s for the Corps. So we've got Project Beale, Project Vitruvius, Project Atlas, and Brain Trust for the Corps. All is like, so it's like every Corp has access to one 3-2 agenda, and they all have to be over advanced to get in effect. And I am absolutely cool with that. That is a great idea to have that happen. So NBN has basically just been cleaned out. Now HB had a couple things happen to it. Like I just said, they lost a successful beta test and got swapped with Project Vitruvius, which is good. They also lost the big thing HB lost that I'm sure everyone is concerned about is they lost Engineering the Future, which has got to be the biggest violator of the too generically good rule. Because let's be real, if you were building a purple deck and it wasn't CI, it was HB. So 90 to 95% of all HB decks that were remotely competent were Engineering the Future. It was too generically good by a mile. So it's been replaced with Stronger Together, which makes perfect sense. So guess what, purple players? Now when you build a deck, you might actually have to spend more than 1/10 of a second thinking about what ID to put it in. That'll mix things up for you. Other than that, not a ton of changes. Get to keep Ichi 1, Roto Turret, Aggressive Secretary, Biotic Labor. Green Level Clearance got saved, that's cool. Ash got saved, that's nice. I'm sure you guys are happy about that. Then we've got Weyland. And basically, Weyland gained something super important and lost something super important. So Weyland gained Project Atlas, and that is worth its weight in gold. Yeah, there is no shortage of Weyland players who are ecstatic about keeping Project Atlas. However, we lost Scorched Earth. Scorched Earth is probably the single most iconic Weyland card, and one of the most iconic cards for the game as a whole. However, it got replaced with Punitive Counterstrike. So you still have a meat damage card in Weyland. It's just money-based rather than tag-based. And that brings up an issue of something that Damon also said he was doing to the game, is that he wanted way less straight-up tag and bag for two reasons. One, because it was really disheartening to people who were learning the game, and two, because it made tag punishment way harder to design around, because like, why would you do any other form of tag punishment when you can straight up end the game and win? Like, why would you use closed accounts when you can just murder them? So it also makes one tag instant death. Yeah, it's just tag and bag was too linear and too powerful. So his idea was to still give Weyland meat damage options, but to make them not tag-based. So now we can have a lot more varied and interesting ways of dealing meat damage as Weyland. Because Weyland is still going to be the meat damage faction. Weyland is still going to be the do a big wad of damage at once faction. It's just not tag-based now, which is good. Now, and something that also does is that opens up a lot of design for anti-meat damage cards. Because remember when, like, Guru Devaner came out, and On the Lamb, and Jargona Mercs, and things like that? What was the big complaint about any anti-damage card that was a resource? Well, it's a resource. They'll just blow it up. They'll just tag you, blow it up, and then kill you. But if meat damage is no longer strictly tag-based, then that means all those resource anti-damage cards suddenly become a lot better. So we might see people bringing out Guru Diviner now, Guru Dave, we'll just call him Guru Dave. Yeah, Weyland gained Atlas and got Scorched Earth swapped with Punitive Counter-Strike. So, yeah. Then, last but certainly not least, we've got my favorite Jinteki. And I'm so happy. I am so absolutely ecstatic over the Jinteki changes. Out of all 7 factions, I will say that Jinteki got the best results out of any of them, hands down, by a mile, for sure. The only cards they lost were garbage cards nobody cared about. We lost Chum. Oh no. We lost Cell Portal. Oh no. We get to keep all the stuff that I wanted us to keep. We get Brain Trust. We get Ronin. We get Swordsman. Hell yes, Swordsman. Yagura Whirlpool. That's nice. Celebrity Gift. Yes. We get to keep Celebrity Gift. We get to keep Trick of Light. We get to keep Hokusai Grid. Oh my god, yes. Yes, everything is right about the new Jinteki card pool. Everything is absolutely correct about that. I cannot express enough how happy I am over the new Jinteki list. It's just, so good. So very good. And there we go. That is a quick overview of some of the more important things that happened in this new Core Set 2.0. And there's also, let's be very clear, when rotation happens on October 1st, Core Set 2.0 is part of rotation. So upon October 1st, 2017, the Core Set 2.0 rules will be in effect. Worlds will happen with Core Set 2.0 rules, and by the end of the year, Core Set 2.0, the actual product, will be on shelves. It's supposed to be by the end of the year. That's probably about when the next cycle will start too. So, yeah, and now here's the thing. If you already have the cards from the first 2 cycles, you don't need to buy Core Set 2.0 at all. If you're a newer player and you skipped over the cards in the first 2 cycles, then just buy Core Set 2.0 when it comes out. And me, I have all the cards, but I will still probably buy Core Set 2 because it should be noted that a lot of cards in it got new artwork. Not all of them, but it looks like a lot of cards either got changed to their alt art, to promotional art versions, or they got completely new artwork. Like the new art for Data Sucker is awesome. So, yeah, this is ushering in literally a whole new era for Netrunner, and I am so looking forward to it. So many changes were made for the specific intention of making the game healthier, more balanced, less toxic degenerate crap, and learning from the mistakes that we've made so far in the game's design, and also just going back to that original Netrunner feel that people have been saying they wanted back. More like Runner makes runs, Corp advances things, all that nonsense. So yeah, this is nothing but a giant shining light at the end of the tunnel. There is good things ahead for Netrunner, and I'm over the hill with hype and anticipation for what 2018 holds for Netrunner. It's going to be a good day, Tater. Thank you and good night.